This is page 82 of your math journal. Okay, we're going to write solving equations with, and then for space, I'm just going to write a plus sign and a minus sign. So with addition and subtraction. Alright, so when we're solving an equation, we're talking about when we have variables in the equation. And there are 3 steps I want to make sure that you, or 4 steps I want you to make sure you follow. Okay? And I want you to put when solving equations. There are 4 steps I want you to take. 1, I want you to find the variable. It's important to know what variable you're solving for. And in this case, they're going to be pretty easy. However, I want you to find the variable and what's happening to it. So, find the variable. 2, identify operation to undo. Three, I want you to solve by undoing both sides. With the opposite operation. And then number 4, check your answer. By plugging it back in. Alright, let me show you these actions in order. And the way to remember it is FISC, F-I-S-C. Just a little way to help you. So, let's write the example. Y plus 7 equals 19. Okay. Step 1, find the variable. It's y. Step 2, identify the operation to undo. Okay. They added 7. If I want to undo that and go backwards, I need to do the opposite of adding 7. So the opposite of adding 7 would be subtracting 7. And I'm going to be super picky about you showing me your work just like I'm showing you right now. It's very important that you are able to do this because right now I know most of these you might actually be able to do in your head, which is great. However, next year and the year after that, you're going to have to do 3, 4, even up to 10 steps sometimes. And if you don't show your work, you're going to get confused about where you are. So we're going to get you some good habits now so that your math work will be easier to understand and neater later. So I'm minusing 7 here. I want you to understand that if I add 7, but then I take 7 away, I get 0. It's like nothing happened. what I'm doing is I'm getting y by itself. But if I do it to this side, this is an equation. It's equal, it's a balance. So I need to take away 7 from here as well. So before they added 7 to get 19, what was this number? Well, 19 minus 7 would be 12. So on this side, this canceled out and left me with y by itself. So y, before they added 7, is 12. Okay. Find your variable, identify what happened to it, undo it, and then check your answer. I have an answer. I'm going to check and make sure it works. 12 plus 7 equals 19. 12 plus 7 is 19. 19 and 19 match. This is a correct solution. Okay, let's try another one. Z minus 6 equals 11. Okay, find the variable. Look at what's happening to the variable. So they minused 6. How do I undo minusing 6? I do the opposite, so I'm going to add 6. So I'm going to add 6 to this side as well. Here this cancels out. Taking away 6, if I give the 6 back, it's like nothing happened. So if I add 6 here to keep that balanced, I am left with z on this side. 11 plus 6 is 17. Check your answer, make sure it works. 17 minus 6 equals 11. 17 minus 6 is 11. Those match. Yes, this is a solution. Okay, let's try another one. $37 equals 111. Oh, sorry, let's do 137. 111 plus m. Okay, find your variable. We have m. Look at what's happening to it. 111 was added with m. So how do I undo adding? I'm going to subtract 111 to figure out what m was. Those cancel each other out. Adding and subtracting are opposites. They undo each other. So I'm going to minus 111 from this side. 7 minus 1 is 6. 3 minus 1 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. I get 26 on this side. M is the only thing left on that side because this I undid. So here, m equals 26. I need to check and make sure this works. So 137 equals 111 plus 26. 6 plus 1 is 7. 2 plus 1 is 3. And 1. 137, 137. This works. Okay, it's super important to plug it in and make sure your answer works. I know even with some of the simplest math that you do, sometimes you accidentally go, okay, 8 plus 4 is 13, and you just rush through it. You probably know that 8 plus 4 really isn't 13, that it's 12, but when you check it, you'll go, oh, oops, and then fix it. This is why it's important to see your work also, to see what you did. Okay, let's try another one. 3.2 equals x minus 1.4. Okay, we might have fractions and decimals here. This is why it's important to know how to do both. So looking at here, find your variable. Identify the operation that you need to undo. I need to undo minusing 1.4. How do I undo minusing 1.4? I'm going to add 1.4. If I add that here, it's going to cancel out and leave me with x on this side. So I need to do the same thing to this side. Add 1.4, so I need to make sure I line up my decimals. 2 plus 4 is 6. Decimal place. 3 plus 1 is 4. So I get x equals 4.6. Now I need to make sure I'm right. So plug into the original equation. I'm going to put 4.6 where x was. Okay, 6 minus 4 is 2. 4 minus 3 is 1. 3.2 does equal 3.2. This is true. Alright, we're going to write one story problem. So we're going to have to read the problem carefully, write our equation, and then solve it. Dominic has 44 more baseball cards than Carter. Carter has 64 cards. Okay, what's the thing on here we don't know? We don't know how many cards Dominic has, so I'm going to use D for Dominic. So let's define our variable. So D is going to represent Dominic's cards. Okay, there's a few ways we can write this equation. As long as it matches the story, all are acceptable. So I'm going to say Dominic has 44 more than Carter. So if I take Carter's cards and I add 44 to it, it's going to give me Dominic's cards. Oh, I had a little d. I better be consistent. Okay, another way I could have written it is 64, so Carter's cards equals Dominic's minus 44 of them. Both of these will still figure out how many cards Dominic has. So with equations, as long as it matches your situation, it's okay either way. So here, 64 plus 44 is going to give me 4 plus 4 is 8, 6 plus 4 is 10. So I get 108 for D. Well, let's try over here. D minus 44. So if I add 44 to both sides, do you notice this is actually the same thing that we just did over here? Didn't we just add 64 and 44 together? Okay, it cancels out here. D is left by itself. I'm still adding 64 and 44, which is 108. Okay, now this is where I check my work. So I'm going to plug in 64 equals 108 minus 44. Make sure that this makes mathematical sense. So 108 minus 44. 8 minus 4 is 4. 0 minus 4 I can't do, so I need to borrow. 10 minus 4 is 6. I got 64 on this side. Those match. That tells me that we are correct. So Dominic has 108 baseball cards. But you can see how you can use an equation to help you figure something out. We have all the pieces of information except for how many Dominic had, and using our clues, we are able to solve it.